Welcome back, everybody. This is Eric here with Iraq Veteran 8888. Today, we have a very special video for you. We are going to be conducting a squirrel hunt today. That's right, boys and girls. We're going to hunt squirrels. And this is super exciting. I have actually been eating squirrels a long time, okay? And look, you know, when you're from the South, you eat some outlandish things. Frog legs, chicken gizzards, all that sort of stuff. And yes, squirrel. So we are going to be conducting a hunt. We are also going to clean, field dress, prep, cook, and consume these squirrels all in this video. So just a little bit of a disclaimer, we are going to be doing some hunting. Okay, we're shooting some squirrels today, so if that offends you, you might not want to watch this video. For the rest of you that are still here, we are going to get into this, and I tell you what, I am super excited about this because this rig is really cool. I want to tell you a little bit about some of the equipment we're going to be using today so we can roll along with the squirrel hunting segment of the video. Okay, our friends at Umarex reached out and offered to send out one of these Notice pre-charged pneumatic air guns here, and this is really cool. It is a regulated air gun that uses a pre-charged pneumatic cylinder. It's also moderated, okay, which in the air gun world that means suppressed for you powder burning types out there. We call it moderated when we're talking about air guns, but it does have a moderator, so it's very quiet. I would say probably quieter than even your most quiet 22 that you would ever experience. Very quiet, and also the accuracy on this gun, man, is so fantastic. It's very accurate. I was very pleased with the accuracy. It's got a great trigger, great setup. You do have a pick rail on top. Now we do have a rather large scope mounted on this particular gun. This is a Zeiss Conquest. It is a 4-18. It's one of my larger hunting scopes, but we opted to put this scope on here because we are using the Tacticam down the scope recorder, okay? So I know some of you have probably seen channels like Ted's Holdover where he does all the pigeons and all the random pests that he is shooting on his channel and everything like that. Well, that is the type of down the scope recording that we're gonna attempt to get filmed here on these squirrels. So we're actually gonna see the projectile run into the squirrel. You're gonna see what I see as I'm looking through the scope, if everything goes according to plan. I'm new to this piece of gear, but we're going to give it a try. So I've got it set up here on our Zeiss Conquest. Now, normally I would probably opt for a little bit smaller optic to put on this gun, but this is the only optic I had laying around that was compatible with the Target Cam, the Tacticam, okay? So we have it set up on 4 power, which is plenty. It's just fine, okay? It gives us plenty of magnification. But overall, these guns are very lightweight, handy, very capable, extremely accurate, and affordably priced, for sure. These guns feed from a 7-round magazine, okay? You can see it's a rotary style magazine, and that is a popular type of option that's out there right now for air guns, or the rotary mags. People love the rotary mags, and for good reason. They're reliable and proven. So you have 7 shots, and it comes with 2 magazines. Now the skirted pellets that we're using here, these are the little Umarex Brimstones. Okay, these are 18.67 grains. All right, so we're just using a regular brimstone skirted pellet here from Umarex. That's what we're going to be shooting our squirrels with today. And the accuracy, of course, very, very good on this, and I've been very pleased with it overall. So this is what we're going to be using as our rifle to take our squirrels today. And again, we are going to go through the cleaning process. We're going to field dress them, and we're going to make some squirrel stew. All right, but I want to show you one other piece of gear. I just couldn't help but show it here, guys. It's so cool. Umarex also sent out this really sweet Ready Air compressor. I want to kind of show this off, you know, just because they went through the trouble of sending it. This compressor is meant to fill, you know, basically the internal bottle that is on your pre-charged pneumatic air gun. Now, this is not really made to fill up like big bottles, like a fill bottle, you know, the big scuba tanks that you see, but it'll fill any air gun on the market that's like 200 psi and under, you know, so it'll do quite a bit. And what's cool about it is you have this digital readout that is super easy to understand. It's super easy to set, and it'll fill your gun in probably 5-6 minutes, maybe if that at all, right? So the Notice, this particular gun, is about a 3,500 psi gun, I believe, on the top end. Let me look at that again, just make sure I'm not wrong there. Yeah, so it's a 3,500 psi gun. but it'll fill guns that have more capacity than that, such as some of your other big bore air guns that are on the market and things like that. But overall, I wanted to show this compressor because it is a sweet piece of gear and it can fill your gun really quickly. Now, in terms of the amount of shots that you're going to get in the Notice out the gate, I was getting about maybe 4 mags or so before I had to refill, and that's plenty for a hunting situation. Because you have to think, each mag holds 7 rounds, or 7 projectiles, so you got to think, that's a fair amount of shooting. I mean, if you get that many shots in a hunt, that's a lot of ground critters to be shooting, okay? But anyway, I wanted to show off the Ready Air compressor, and a big thanks to Umarex for sending this out. I'm going to put it back down for a second here, and that's a sweet piece of gear that is very capable. So we're going to be running the Tacticam. We're going to get out here and have a look around and see what we can come up with and see if we can get us about, we're going to go for about maybe 3 squirrels is the goal. And we're going to make some squirrel stew with some celery, onions, potatoes, carrots, and we're going to slow cook it in a crock pot overnight and get it nice and tender. And look, people can say what they want. Squirrel is actually quite good if it's prepared correctly. A lot of people tend to not really understand that, you know, squirrel is a gamey meat. And if you're not careful, you know, it can taste a little off if you don't prepare it correctly. But a lot of people fry squirrel. You can do that as well. You know, fried squirrel with biscuits and gravy is kind of a southern delicacy, especially in Texas, you know, and places like that. They love squirrel and dumplings and things like that. Squirrel dumplings. But we're going to opt for this squirrel stew, something real hearty, a nice winter meal. We are getting near Christmas here. So a nice winter meal here on the homestead would be a nice thing to have. So we are going to go through this process. And again, fair warning, yes, we're going to be shooting some squirrels. So we're going to get right to it. And let's get this business out of the way, get our squirrels harvested, and then we'll go ahead and get them cut up and prepared in our crock pot and get them simmering down and cooking slow and low so we can have us some nice squirrel stew here. Okay, so we're going to get after it. Here we go. Oh, we get them? Yep. All right, got our first squirrel down. That's looking good. We'll go recover him in a second. And I saw another one over here. Okay, so we had to take the long way around to get around the creek, but we got one squirrel on the ground. Good humane kill, and that's a nice large ground squirrel. We're gonna go ahead and try to find some more. Of course, the dog's happy about that. I couldn't get a shot at the second one, but we're gonna look around a little more and see if we can get at least one more on the ground. Hopefully 3. All right, 1 down, 2 to go. All right, right here in the front yard. It's okay, I'll take it. It's a nice thing about having air guns. It's urban, baby. We had a successful squirrel hunt. I wanted 3 squirrels, but we'll take 2. Got a couple of females here, and look, we feed the squirrels really well around here, and you know, I generally don't shoot a lot of them. So, you know, look, we're going to consume these. It's all good. We are going to go ahead and clean and field dress these real quick. They're quite easy. Now, there's some different methods for field dressing a squirrel. And everybody's going to claim that their method is best. And listen, I'm never going to sit here and say that my method is any better than anybody else's, okay? The best method that I've seen, I learned from David Canterbury. I'm going to link his Instagram page down below, and he is great at this. And I'm going to sort of steal his method a little bit. What he normally does is he'll take a cleaver and just cut off the joints of the feet here. We're going to go ahead and move this one off to the side. We'll start with this one. But what I'm going to do is I've got these meat shears, and what we're going to do is just go ahead and clip the joints off right at the joint. We'll just take the meat shears and clip those off, okay? Because what we're going to do is we're going to essentially take the skin off just like a coat, more or less. So we'll take right there's a joint, okay? We'll cut there, And again right here. We're going to try this method and see if it works. Okay. And then we'll go ahead and cut the tail off in the same fashion with the meat shears. Okay. And now this part, look, y'all, I gotta cut the squirrel's head off. I mean, it's just gonna be what it's gonna be. Okay. But the meat shears will allow us to get through the head and the spine. Just takes a little second there. Okay. Let's set that off to the side. Now, essentially, what we're going to do. Oh, and there's the pellet right there under the hide. You can take a small pocket knife or something to that effect. Okay, and just make a little cut right here, and then kind of peel the fur off like a coat. I'm going to use a Bubba blade. I like a fillet knife because it's long and slender, and I can really feel exactly where I want it to go. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and just make a little cut underneath the hide, just like that. Just like that. And we actually have our pellet. Look at that. We recovered our pellet out of there, okay? So now what we really should be able to do is just grab this fur and literally just peel it off like removing a coat, okay? Kind of like this. All right, we get our fingers up under there and go ahead and just take the coat off, okay? Just like that. And again, from this side, we'll peel the coat off, okay? Just like that. Now, some folks have done a lot cleaner than me, but it gives a general idea. And then, of course, for the guts, we'll go through, make a cut along the center, just like gutting a deer, all the way up through the rib cage, and we'll remove all the internal organs into a bag. Now, generally speaking, I obviously would not do this right here on my kitchen counter or whatever, but I'm trying to more or less demonstrate everything. Now look, I'm going to go ahead and move over here off camera and just empty these guts into a bag. You get the idea? Go ahead and pull all the guts out. Okay. That's good. Get everything out. Okay. Y'all get the idea. We're going to wash this out and everything like that. All right, hang on. Let me get everything out. And we're obviously going to have to wash it out real good and everything like that. Okay. You get the idea? All right, we're going to make a cut right here. Right in the center. Just like that. Because we got to be able to get all that lining there along the butt out. Now there's folks that are a million times better at this than I am. Obviously we have to wash this carcass out. But now we can quarter this up and it's ready. We're just going to rinse and repeat this process. That looks good. I mean, this carcass needs to be washed out, obviously. But that gives you hopefully a pretty solid idea. Okay, so now that we've gotten our squirrels dressed out, hopefully I didn't do too terrible of a job there on my squirrel dressing. Again, check out David Canterbury's video. His is excellent. He's probably a lot better at it than I am, but we're going to go and make some squirrel stew. So what we're going to use is some potatoes. I have already gone through the effort here to just go ahead and prep everything. So what we're going to do is just go ahead and dump everything in here as we prepared it and go ahead and get it all ready. We're going to do a couple of tablespoons, kind of a rough tablespoon of flour. Okay, and we're using just a crock pot here. If you're using a pressure cooker or something like that, you can do that if you want. Now, the recipe that I use, it does call for chicken bouillon cubes, but we ain't going to mess with none of that. We're going to use some better than bouillon. Okay, that's the roasted chicken variety. You use whatever you want, but about that much. And we are going to use some chicken broth as well. Okay, you can use water, but because Squirrel can be a little bit, let's just say, on the gamey side or whatever, you probably want to opt for some broth. So we are going to use that. So a couple of tablespoons of flour, a little bit of beef, better than bouillon, chicken bouillon. All right, our quartered up squirrel. Okay, we're going to put our squirrels in there. I wanted 3 squirrels, but we've got 2. So that's what we're going to work with. And 2 is absolutely fine. Of course, we've washed all these squirrels down, rinsed them down good. That's all looking good. One little tiny little piece of hair right there. It's okay. All right. Now, this recipe that I'm using, it calls for bell peppers, and that's all good and fine, but because I like a little kick, I'm going to throw a habanero in there as well. And I have some dried pepper X's. Yes, you heard me right. I'm going to put one of those in there just because I like the heat. All right, we're going to add some baby carrots into the mix here. Okay. Got baby carrots. We've got a whole onion. Rather large onion. Might be a little bit too much onion, but that's okay. I don't mind it. All right. We got some cloves of garlic, which I actually forgot to smash these. Let me smush them here real quick. There we go. Hang on, I'm coming. All right, a couple of cloves of garlic. Okay, a sliced bell pepper. Okay, and we're going to add a generous helping of potatoes. Okay. Probably about right there. It's not an exact science. Okay, it's squirrels. Okay, and then what we're going to do, instead of using water, we're going to use chicken broth. Okay. We'll go ahead and put the whole jar in there. Not going to hurt a thing. So now what we're going to do is set the crock pot to high for about maybe 3 hours or so and allow this to cook. Okay, pretty easy stuff. All right, right here we're going to set it to high, and I'm setting it to 3.5 or so hours. Okay, so now at this point what we're going to do is let our squirrel cook, and we'll see what the finished product looks like. Let's do it. Okay, y'all. It is the moment of truth. Our squirrel stew is ready. We've got it on just the keep warm setting here on the crock pot. So what we wound up doing was running on high for about 3.5 hours, and then we set it to low to run it slow and low overnight. And I say overnight, I put it on kind of late last night, so this has probably been going about maybe 8 hours total. So let's have a look and see how good our vegetables look. Whew, here we go. Squirrel stew out of the crock pot. I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. All right. We're going to have a look at this. We got our vegetables looking really nice. Oh man, look at that. All right, we're going to go ahead and put some in a bowl here. All right, let's have a look. There's our squirrel. Look at that. It's falling apart, falling off the bone. Look at that. Now there are some little bones in here that we have to contend with. I'm hoping that we have one of these quarters that hasn't fallen apart yet, but wow, look at that meat. Very succulent meat. So a lot of people have asked me, what the consistency of squirrel meat is like, and it's very succulent and dark meat, okay? It's very similar to like dark chicken thighs, okay? Look, let me grab a spoon here, and we'll grab some of our carrots. I don't have like a big old slotted proper spoon for this thing. It's okay. Look, got some potatoes, a couple of carrots, some of our peppers. Now remember, we put some habanero peppers in this, as well as a pepper X and some onions. And our broth is looking real nice. Look at that. Gorgeous. There's our squirrel stew. All right. Man, we went through all this hard work. Let's go ahead and give some a try. All right. Look at that squirrel meat just falling right off the bone. That is just wonderful. Let's give it a shot. Oh yeah. Very nice. Perfect amount of heat. Man, so good. And really, those bones are so small and tender, almost like a fried fish. You could just about chew the bones up and eat the marrow and bones and everything. All right. Those potatoes are beautiful and soft, succulent. A little onion there. Ooh, hot. Look at that. Beautiful succulent meat. It's very good. The consistency is kind of like chicken thighs. It's a perfect comparison. And if you're prepared just right, you really can't distinguish squirrel meat from chicken thighs. Very succulent, very dark. I guess that's about the best word. Is it's succulent. Very succulent. Very good. I'd say that's a success, boys and girls. Man, look at that. All right, y'all, this concludes our squirrel hunt. I was super excited to put this particular video out, field to fork, all the way from harvesting it, cleaning them out and everything, cooking them, consuming them. I mean, look, hunting is definitely an interesting undertaking. It's something a lot of people do. I've been squirrel hunting a long time. You know, I'm glad we were able to get a couple of squirrels on the ground. I wanted to get 3 for the pot, but I settled for 2 just to be able to demonstrate, you know, in practice, getting the wild game prepared for you. Again, make sure you check out David Canterbury's video on the subject. It's excellent. I'll put a link down below to his Instagram account. Definitely make sure you give him a follow. And a big thanks to Umarex for sending this particular rig out, as well as our compressor that really helped us out here with this particular hunt. I love the Notice. I think it's a fantastic gun. And definitely the scope cam worked out really well for this particular hunt. I'm very happy with the way everything came together. Expect a full review on the channel on this particular gun in the future. We will talk about it a bit more in more detail in the future. But thanks so much for tuning in. Many more videos on the way. We'll see you soon.